The malacha we are doing is borer, sorting. This, ladies, is probably the most challenging, most difficult, most misunderstood, most transgressed, most not known, most violated, most sanctioned. Basically, we all mess up in this one, and we've got to kind of work at it. And as I mentioned, if you remember right at the beginning of the semester, was this one, you can't even learn by watching people. You can learn other stuff. You can learn not to turn on a light, because you see people don't turn lights on Shabbos. You can learn not to drive a car on Shabbos, because people don't drive cars on Shabbos, so I'm like, that I don't do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, duh. But then you come to this really weird malacha called borer. And borer involves food and non-food. But it's primarily going to happen in the kitchen. And it's going to involve cutlery. And you can see someone doing something and be like, I'm going to do exactly what they're doing. And you do it the same way as them. Yet they are doing a mitzvah, and you are doing an Isser Doraisa of Malacha, Chayev Skila, with Hasra, not good. Basically. It's just the most difficult one, and people are Shomer Shabbos, and they think they keep Shabbos, and then they have no idea about this Malacha. They'll be like, yeah, I'm Shomer Shabbos, but I don't do borer, you know? And but I don't know what that's, it's really one of those things, but I tell you, it's the same as any other Malacha. It doesn't stand out as being, well, you don't drive, but it's okay to do borer. It's all found inside borer. There's a lot going on over here. So let's go through as we go slowly. There's different parts to it, different ways to do it. I'm going to tell you, if I remember, two stories of being, one of them a Shabbaton many years ago, and I was sitting at a table of observant Jews, including myself, and rabbis, and there was a situation over there of squeezing a lemon in a certain way, and we were all sitting there because it had a net on it. And you know those fancy lemons, they cut in half and put a net on it? And everyone was there, there was a whole debate, and we all decided, okay, one rabbi there said, it's not okay. And there was a whole debate, and we all squeezed and he didn't. And he was correct, and we shall see why later on, and what that was all about. And I go to Shabbatonim all the time, and I see people making tea. By the way, first of all, they don't know how to make tea according to Hilchah Shabbos. There's ways to make tea, but we'll leave that aside. We'll leave how to make tea on Shabbat.
How to make tea on Shabbat?
Yes.
How? Just say quick. What?
Yes. Making it quickly. Making kli shlishi, how to do it. What? Shlishi?
No.
No, three.
But the
Coffee is two. Tea is three.
Oh, so everybody's wrong.
Everyone, we're all making mistakes over here. That's going to be problems of Bishul, which we're going to spend even more time than Borer on that one. That's going to be a lot of time. Cooking and preparing food on Shabbos. Sfarim are pretty... Vadio Yosef says you should be careful as well. If you can, you should be careful as well.
Don't some people hold that the original thing?
Some say Kli Shlishi doesn't even exist, but they say you should try to hold by that as well. Yeah. Yeah. That is because it's in there. That's not Kli Rishon. Then the second one, the third one. Oh, that could be what you're talking about. That could be what you're talking about. Yes. It could be the urn is actually the Kli Rishon. That's Ala Eish. The second cup, that's considered, the first cup is actually Kli Sheni. So the third cup is Kli Shlishi. That's me from. Yes. Can we? We're not doing Bishul, all right? Can I focus on Borer? I can't. My head's spinning now. I've got a headache. Who's got Advil?
Wasn't that the cloth separated the pulp from the juice?
The what?
The cloth separated the pulp from the juice when you were squeezing the lemon?
Yes. What about it?
So that was the borer issue?
No.
No?
Yeah, with a cloth, yes. No. Squeezing lemon is without a cloth. With a cloth on, it's going to be a problem. Just squeezing lemon is going to be okay onto a solid.
Because it separated the pulp from the juice, right? So that was borer?
Juice from the actual thing itself. If there's a cloth, we're going to come to the cloth. The cloth is actually trickier than that. It's not actually just the pulp. Because you may not mind the pulp, it's something else. Okay. What?
Seeds?
What seeds? Yeah. Okay, we'll get Okay. So let us begin. So Borer is extraordinarily difficult and challenging. First of all, where does it come from? What's the Av Malacha? Let's figure out what the Av. Remember, if someone asks the question, the first thing you ask is, what's the Av Malacha? So the Av Malacha was, you have your big pile, and you did your pitchfork, and that was Zoreh, the winnowing, and I don't know why I find this funny. And the wind comes and blows away all the pasolas, the stuff you don't want. However, the heavy stuff, rocks and pebbles, fall back into the pile. How do they take the rocks and the pebbles and the stones and the other parts of the chaff that were too heavy, which the wind didn't blow away? How do they get rid of that?
Picking it up.
They picked it up. Right? They took a utensil and they got rid of all the stuff they didn't want. So we have our Av Malacha. Look inside your books, page 30. We've got a long way to go. It's the act of removing pasoles. Moving pasoles, which we're going to translate as the stuff you don't want, from the ochel, which you can define as the stuff you do want. Now, I'm not going to say ochel doesn't just mean food. We're going to see this is going to apply to clothing. It may apply to books. It's going to apply to cutlery. It's going to apply to chess pieces. All of this will be discussed this class and next class, God willing, when I hope to finish this off. Yeah.
Wait, I don't understand the difference. Like, they sound very similar.
What
Maybe
sounds
I'm, like,
similar?
really wrong. Zoreh and Boreh. Like the Av Malacha.
Of which one? Zoreh and Boreh. Zoreh involves wind.
Oh, okay.
Zoreh with a hay involves wind. Borer is not items that are blown through the wind, but separating using a utensil. One thing you don't want from the other. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. One involves wind and one doesn't. Yes?
Does it matter the order you do it? Like, what if you take things you do want?
We're going to come to that. Hold that question, my dear. Yes?
Is chess allowed on Shabbos?
Is chess allowed on Shabbos? We're going to discuss that as well. There's no prohibition per se of playing chess. It's separating the pieces
Like if you
that
fill
could
it up?
be problematic. We're going to come to that as well. The actual playing of chess may not be in the spirit of Shabbos, but there's nothing wrong with it. There's no malacha playing chess on Shabbos. It's pieces and separating the black and white pieces
Oh.
that is problematic. Yes?
What's the difference between this and dash? And the
Dash and schita is different from borer. Listen very carefully. Dash is different because dash, I'm taking what I do want, the ochel, from the pasolet. Taking the juice, taking the thing from inside the fruit. Right? This is taking the pasolet from the ochel. Dash or schita, I'm squeezing the lemon because I want the liquid that comes out of it. That's dash. That's schita. I'm squeezing the sponge because I want to get the liquid out of it. That's problematic. That you can't do. Hold on. Now we're saying by borer, you also cannot take the pasolet from the ochel. The stuff you don't want from the stuff you do want. That's what we're saying right now. Yeah? That's the difference. Now there's going to be conditions that come with this. Yeah.
You said that for borer, it's not separating through wind, but through utensil.
Through a utensil, yes. Using an item to do the separation.
Like your hands with that.
Your hands are less problematic.
Because you mentioned in the very first day about like raisins and like peanuts, you take out the
Yeah. We're going to come to that. There's going to be three things I like to do with. First of all, this is where we're going to work. We're going to define it in let's go slowly. We're going to define it in general. Then we're going to look at the problems that come with it, and then we're going to do the solutions. That's how we're going to do it, okay? Because there's a lot over here. It's a little complicated. Once you get it, you get it. So we're going to do one, general principle that comes with it. Two, the problem. And then three, how to solve it. Okay? That's the way we're going to do it. By the end, it'll be very, very clear. Okay? And has many, many applications. Okay. So that's the basic principle that when items are mixed in together, they're in a state of ta'arovet, they are mu'urav, which means mixed in together. Because remember, these stones were mixed in to a pile of wheat and chaff. So we're going to find a scenario in order to find the problem that is as close to the original scenario that we started with. Okay? So they're going to be mixed in together. If items are not mixed together, it's not a problem. If I have a bowl of raisins and peanuts mixed in, they're similar size, they're mixed up together. It's going to be a problem removing things I don't want from the stuff that I do want, because they are mu'urav. The word mu'urav, the shoresh of the word is erev, ayin, reish, beis, right? Which means nighttime. Why is nighttime the same as mixed in? Because at nighttime everything's dark. Everything mixes in together. Okay, it's the same shoresh. Mu'urav, erev, everything is balul, everything is mixed up together. That is the shoresh similarity. Yeah.
Let's say if it's attached and not mixed together.
Gonna come to that as well. Attached, mixed in, embedded, entangled are all going to be a problem. They're all going to be a problem. Intermingled. When they are dispersed, it's not going to be a problem. If I have a table and there's an orange over there, there's an apple over there, there's a banana over there, right? That's not going to be a problem. Because they're separate, they're distinct, they're apart. Okay? So one of the first things we're going to look at is they have to be together, mixed in mu'urav.
What about something like M&Ms where they're all the same flavor?
Great question.
Exact
Great question. We're going to come to M&Ms. We shall be discussing them. What makes items different? Because we're going to see as well that there have to be two minim, different types. And we're going to see that when it comes to different types, because remember the stones are different to the wheat. But how do you define two different types? Is color sufficient? Is taste sufficient? Is name different? And the answer is yeah. Name and taste may be different. We're going to see that roasted chicken will be different to barbecue chicken. Okay, it's different. Dark meat and light meat. Is ice and water considered to be a problem here as well? So we're gonna discuss all of these things. Okay. 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 So let's start with the Av and the Toldos of Borer. So in order to be a problem, there must be a mixture. As we said, there must be mu'urav. In order to be a mixture, they need to be roughly the same size. If one stands out over the other, they're not considered mixed in. A bowl of fruit, which are large pieces, may not necessarily be a mixture, meaning you would be permitted, right, if one is not obstructing the view of the other one, to remove an orange that you don't want right now to grab the apple that you do, because they're there in a big bowl. That's going to be different to cut up or smaller fruits that mix in together. Okay? It's going to be tricky to figure out exactly. But a bowl of cherries mixed with blueberries has Boreh factor, mixture, and has Boreh factor type, minim. Minim is type. Okay? There are two different types. Silverware, you have knives and forks and spoons. They're all mixed in together into one pile. Or in a rack, they're all mixed in together. It could be problematic separating those items. We'll see later on the solution of how to actually do that. What you're going to do is, we'll see eventually, you're going to unmix them by just kind of like throwing them out onto the table. Okay? However, larger items that are in another part would not be a problem. For example, if your clothes are hanging in a closet, they're not considered mixed in because they're just easily accessible. Right? One is not obstructing the other. So you could flick through and grab the clothing that you don't want to grab the stuff that you do want. That's not considered to be mixed in. Okay? If, however, you do what I used to do in yeshiva and not hang your clothes up and basically take them out of the washing machine to the dryer and then from the dryer into one big pile that you kind of flick through, that's going to be problematic. There they are mixed in. Diving through there from a big mixed jumble of socks and underwear, which I would still do if it wasn't for my wife, would be problematic. But if they are neatly put one top of the other, then they're considered to be, that's going to be siluk. Siluk is removing one item to get to another one. That's going to be permitted. But if they're all jumbled up into one big post-drying mess, that's going to be a problem. Okay? Let's say you have a nice piece of live chicken or potato in the soup, right? Even though the soup and the chicken are two different types, still the size difference, they're not considered to be mixed in. Okay? So we're looking to mix them in to be a problem, and we're looking to have two different types. You need to have both factors. Okay? And to be a problem. Okay? So.
There's no problem between the soup and the chicken?
No problem, yeah. Right? Because you need to have the fact. You need to have if one factor is missing over there, it's not going to be a problem. You're going to just remove one in order to get to the other because they're big and they're considered separate. Okay. So what are the halachic guidelines for this idea of a mixture? Let's write this down. So number one, they need to be mingled or interspersed. I'm going to explain it to you. Interspersed, that means they're mingled together. Lamashal, a bowl of cherries and blueberries, peanuts and M&Ms. Okay? They are mingled together. Okay? Embedded or attached. E.g. raisins and peanuts. Okay, small, intermingled, interspersed. Embedded or attached, for example, well, fat and meat, right? Fat and meat. You got a piece of meat, and there's a bit of fat right after it. They're not mingled or interspersed, but they're embedded or attached, which means removing the fat from the meat, because it has to be the solet from the ochel, yeah, is going to be a problem. Nachon?
But wouldn't fat be considered ochel?
Fat would not be considered ochel if you don't want to eat it. It becomes subjective to the selector. In other words, objectively, I like peanuts. You don't like peanuts. You can't say, well, everyone else loves them, it ain't separating. You don't want them, even if you want to have them later. Right now you don't want it. For you, it's pesolet. Your immediate desire defines it. If you want to eat all the meat and the fat, it ain't a problem. But the fact that you're detaching it means I don't want it right now. I don't want to start eating fat. It becomes pesolet. Even though it is edible, that's what you're saying. Exactly. It's edible, but for you right now, it's pesolet because you don't want it. So ochel, right, and so pesolet can still be edible. Yes?
So what about the peel of the fruit?
We're going to come to that. Peel of fruit could well be problematic. But we're going to see how to peel fruit. For different reasons than Dash, it's a problem of borer, but we can see you'll be able to do it when we get to the problem solved. But it is going to be a problem, yeah.
So say you have a piece of bread and chicken and you don't want the breaded part. If you remove that, you can't do that, right?
You are eating a piece of breaded chicken. And now you want to scrape away the breaded part because you are on a non-breaded part diet. That would be problematic. Yes, you would not be permitted to do that. There is going to be a permitted way to do it, though. For most of these, pretty much everything we're describing over here, there's going to be a permitted way to do it, which is why there's people that do it. We're going to see the way to do it. Now, you don't have to sprinkle on your kitchen floor, no, dear. No. Okay? And finally, absorbed or interfused. So I'm going to squeeze out, right, some form of liquid, soup, something I don't want, from the bit that I do want, even though one is inside the other.
Isn't that
So like holding the ladle to the side so like the water comes out? I mean like the soup.
No, that
Is that like, I don't know, oil of meat or something?
yes.
Isn't that also an issue of skita?
We said actually schita, interesting enough, it wasn't a problem over there. It could be a problem of schita. So of borer. We're going to come to that.
Can you?
I want to add some more. So this is this will be fruit as well over here. Just so I have the peeling fruit could be a problem. Again, we're going to see later on how you can and you are best to remove fruit. Visible dirt on vegetables is here as well. Some say the sticker on an apple. Some say, not everyone, some say sticker on an apple. Probably permitted, but many people are strict out because that is attached to it. Embedded or interfused could be a tiny insect on a leaf.
What's in that is?
Small.
What's absorbed?
Absorbed. It's one like a sponge. It's
So how insect is
because it's interfused. It's small and it's inside it. That's if you could see it. That's if you could see it. Generally, washing vegetables we're going to see is going to be okay with smaller insects for sure. Okay. In other words, if these three are not present, i.e. it's not mingled, it's not embedded, it's not absorbed or interspersed, attached or interfused, then it's not going to be a problem of borer whatsoever. Okay? For example, I'll give you a few examples of that. Oranges and tangerines on a table, assorted silverware that is scattered on the table, apples in a bag, liquid in a glass. Right? You've got a glass, you want to pour out the liquid you don't want. That's just an item that is containing the other, a vessel containing the item, you just pour it out, that's going to be okay. Yes?
Can you give another example for absorbed or interfused?
I'll give you examples I have here. Great one. You got a bowl of soup. And in the soup is a fly. By the way, it's not so simple to throw the whole soup away. Could be bal tashchit. Could be you have to remove, unless you're totally repulsed by it. That would be permitted. But not so simple. Right? Some little creature ends up in your challenge or something, throw the whole thing away because you don't like it. Better not to tell the guests. Anyway, this is something that is absorbed and diffused, a small fly over here. Okay? So, you know, let's use this example in detail because this one isn't memorized. It's something you'll remember. First of all, let's go through. Do we have a tarovet over here? Is there a tarovet?
Yes.
Is there a mixture? Yes. Okay? Flies inside the soup. It's going to be a mixture. Do we have two minim? Shtei minim? Yes. Fly, different from soup. Do we have a psolet over here? It could be that I want both. No.
Is that a kashrus issue?
You don't want, it's a kashrus issue, that's great. Oh, actually no. If there's
It's
60
shishim?
times
It's
soup,
shishim? Okay.
shishim to fly, you're okay, just pull it out. Would I be permitted, watch very carefully. Would I be permitted, according to what we said so far, we have a lot more to do, but what I said so far, to take said fly and pluck him or her, I'm progressive when it comes to flies and soup, out of the soup itself? No. The conditions are there. Two minim, taroves, psolet, Ochel, literally ochel. What can I do? What can I do to help me over here?
You can take some soup with
What's your name?
Ahava.
Says Ahava, you can take some soup with your fly. Anyone heard of this idea before? Yeah? Put your hands up if you've heard this idea before. Okay. That's about most of you. Why is that going to help?
You're not taking it out. You're not separating.
I am separating it. I don't want the fly. I'm taking the fly out.
You're not separating.
Why is that different to me holding fly by the wing, right, using chopsticks to pull out the fly, and me taking out some of the soup with
Because
it?
you're not separating the fly from the soup. The soup
Because
is
you
gonna
want
be
the
combined.
soup. Without losing, yeah, you're taking the good with the bad.
Okay. So it's going to go like this. And this is actually, the Chazon Ish gave the explanation of this very, very nicely. Let's use this example specifically. The problem with this soup is in a very specific place. Where? At the point of contact. That's where the problem is. Okay? Let's look at an apple. Let's assume you can't remove a stick from an apple. There's a question whether that is attached or interfused, or whether that's a taroves. But let's just say it is for a second. This is my apple. There's my sticker. Okay? I want to get my sticker, or that brown bit of apple, same concept, off the apple. Okay? So I can eat around it. That would not be a problem. But I want to remove it. Okay? Because my kids don't want to touch any item that has one small blemish on it, right? One small piece of brown on the banana, because I'm not eating it. It could be a 6-foot banana, right, with a 1 millimeter piece of brown. I'm not eating it. So I remove it. Okay. The problem over here is actually the point of contact. If I were to come in over here and use a spoon to pick up not only the fly, but some of the soup as well, I'm going to pull out. What I have effectively done is remove the problem altogether. Because the problem is here. I have avoided the problem by avoiding the point of contact. And that's going to be permitted. I have effectively, if you will, removed ochel from ochel. So that's going to be permitted. This is also going to apply by the apple. I cannot remove that sticker, let's just say. But if I cut around it, and I remove everything around it, I'm removing ochel from ochel because I'm not affecting the point of contact. So you need to have a, God bless you, tarovet, God bless you. You need to have two minim, but you also need to have an effect on the point of contact. Oh, and one last thing. You need to have, there's an improvement that is happening through your borer. It's in need of improvement, and it's now better off than it was before. Removing peanuts, I don't like peanuts, is better off the mixture. I don't want the sticker's gone, is better off. If they would find a scenario, we'll find one or two where it's not better off, it's just as bad as it was before, then that would not be a problem. Okay? So by me removing the area around it, I've removed ochel from ochel. Ochel from ochel is okay. Pesolet from pesolet is also okay. For example, you have a little separating device, a sieve, at the bottom of your sink, don't you? Why are you allowed to throw food into your sink, right? Or let it spill in? Now you're separating the liquid that goes down the drain, and it's being caught, the bones are being caught, or the debris, by the little sievey thing.
You don't want either one of them.
You don't want either one of them. You don't want either one of them. That's pesolet from pesolet. That's not a problem. The problem was pesolet from ochel. But removing ochel from pesolet is going to be okay. Ochel from ochel is going to be okay. And pesolet is going to be okay. So we have to limit the area of the problem of challenge. Are we together, ladies?
What about it here in the...
Hair in the food is going to be a problem.
Oh,
If it's in the food itself and you're just plucking it out, that hair, I would say, is going to be a problem. It's considered to be this one last here, absorbed or interfused.
Okay, so my question, if I take some of the food with the hair,
That would be okay, because you're not affecting the point of contact and you're removing some of it as well. That would be okay.
but can I assume that when I take the hair, the food gets stuck to it? No, you have to put some of the food outside.
Yes.
So if you remove the points of contact, that issue, like,
You've gone around it. You've gone around it. You've avoided the problem. Yes. What about it? Yes. That's exactly it. We're saying this method of using the spoon is okay. Let's look at another example of this. You're making, and this is one I see all the time. You're making a cup of tea on Shabbat. Now we'll work out how to make tea when we discuss bishul. But right now, I'm making a cup of tea. So here's my cup. Okay? And here is my liquid. And there is my tea bag. Okay? Can I remove the tea bag from the tea?
Water's coming with it.
but it's not that one, the leaves back here. It's ochel me'ochel.
Why is it ochel me'ochel?
No, that's why I make tea essence before Shabbos.
I didn't make tea essence this Shabbos, and I hold, let's say I hold that I want to. Tea essence is going to be the best way to do it, having hot tea essence. But now I have a tea bag. So now my tea bag's in my tea. And I don't want the tea bag anymore, it's getting too strong. Can I remove the tea bag? Oh, first of all, what's the problem? First we start with the problem, then we'll find a solution. First of all, what's the problem?
You don't want the tea bag and you want
Fine. I don't want the tea bag, I want the tea. When does the problem begin? You pull out. The problem actually begins, if you think about it, when this tea bag starts to go up, no problem. No problem. No problem. No problem.
Wait, it's mine?
1 second. No problem. No problem. No problem. As soon as the bottom of the tea bag hits this part over here, right? Now my tea bag here, that's part 1. Here's part 2 over here, right? And it touches the surface. Now I'm separating out the point of contact. It's an improved experience. The point of contact happens. That's problematic.
But it's taking water with it, which is what you want.
Not enough. Not going to be a problem.
So do the same thing.
Separate it, and people do this and dig it out, just dipping it in and out. And I've seen many people, I think many religious people do this on Shabbos. It's problematic. I don't know how they get away with it. Plus, we'll see, the tea bag itself could be a form of colander. It's like a form of sieve. That itself is a problem. So what you're going to have to do,
So take the spoon.
take a
leave it.
spoon and take some out with it. That's always going to be the solution to the problem. Okay, that's the problem. We have 2 minim. They're murav. They are absorbed and interfused. Okay, the tea bag is interfused inside. I use the spoon to take it out. Some of the liquid comes. There's a large amount. But the liquid comes with it. Okay, that's going to be okay.
So would it be fine to make that tea and leave it in, but pour the liquid out into another cup and add hot water?
Yes, that will be okay up to a certain point,
Until like
as I'll demonstrate in a moment. Yes,
I don't know if that's what Jack struggle with that. Like, solve the problem by reusing that.
reusing what? Reusing what?
The tea bag. They put it into another cup and then it's over.
No, because you don't want it in this cup, my dear. The problem is this leaves, I don't want it in this cup. At that moment, it's psolet.
You know you're gonna reuse
You
that.
don't want it now. You're going to reuse it, no problem. But at that moment, it's psolet. I don't want it here. You hear? I like peanuts. Right now, I don't want peanuts. I'm going to like them again in a minute. I remove the peanuts. I want it. It's a daraisa. Crazy, right? Yeah.
Just theoretically speaking, if I wanted to not use a spoon and just let kind of the corner of it dangle inside, because it's not, it's being separated. Just
No
like-
dangly corner. Once it comes out, it's
But
out.
not the whole thing, only
A part of it, so part of it stays in, it's okay. If you want to create that scenario. Freezing in it. Okay, let's just talk about my cholent from yeshiva for the last 5 minutes. And that's worth talking about. Because anyone who goes to a boys' yeshiva, although I think I have it here, Stearns pretty well, you see the cholent is made up of different parts. You have a big pot, and then you have meat, right? And you got potatoes and beans everywhere, right? And then you have about half a foot of oil.
That's also
That
nice.
is a good cholent on Shabbos. You gotta drill through the oil. Drill, baby, drill, till you get to the gold at the bottom. Okay, so here's my challenge. How am I going to remove said oil from... Think carefully. What can I do? What can I not do? From what we've discussed so far. Do we have two minim? Yes. Are they considered to be murav?
Yeah. Well,
They're attached.
ish.
Ish. Ish. Okay, what's the ish part?
The point of contact.
The point of contact. Very, very good. So I want to get rid of the oil. If you want to eat the oil, which you're probably entitled to, that's not a problem. You don't care, go for it. But let's say I want to get rid of this oil.
When you say 2 minim, it's that you can't have less than 2 minim?
We're going to discuss...
You have more than
No. It has to be 2 minim. If it's 1 min, or 2 items that we're going to define as 1 min, like ice cubes and water, we're going to define as 1 min actually, although it seems as though they're 2 separate things. That's going to be a problem. So we're going to go through descriptions of 2 minim.
what if it's 3
Also a problem. A minimum of 2.
minutes? So it's minimum stuff.
Minimum of 2, yeah.
Wait, can you mix them?
You can mix it up, sure.
You can, it's fine.
No
right?
problem. But you may want to actually get rid of this oil, because you don't want to give everyone a cardiac arrest by next Shabbos. It's a lot of oil. For this thing, I've done a lot of oil. So now I want to remove it. Can I take a ladle and scoop out the oil?
Yes, if you take some of the food.
If you like,
No,
the
if you don't
fire.
touch the point of contact.
Says Ms. Owanuno. And not touch point of contact, I'm just removing oil from oil. When does the problem begin?
You touch the point of contact.
Here, at the point of contact. So I can actually pour the oil. I can start to pour out the oil, right? So let's do this for a second. I'm going to pour out my oil now, okay? There's my food, there's my meat. Okay, and the oil is coming, let's do it like this, okay? You with me, right? You get the idea. And the oil starts to pour out. Here comes the oil, it's pouring out. There's the oil, out it comes, right? I struck rich. Out comes the oil. Coming out, out. At some point, the two are going to meet. This meat is going to start to make its way up here, right? And it's going to meet over there. And now I have a separation issue. Once I get so close to the point of contact over here, that it becomes a problem. That would not be permitted. Which is why you cannot use the lid of an item to put on the edge of a pot to pour stuff out to hold back. That's separating as well. That's using a cleat to do it. That's also a problem. If you want to just scoop out on the bottom, you get to, just above that, that's fine. Once you get to this area, there's going to be a problem. We're going to have the same with a tuna can. Let's say you are permitted, we'll see later on, but you have a can of tuna. And here you have the tuna, and here you have the liquid on top. Okay? So maybe it will allow you to pour out the excess liquid on top, because there's usually some liquid that's absorbed into the fish as well. But what you can't do is take the lid and start to squeeze down on this to pressure out the liquid as well. Because then you're entering into the point of contact. So you don't need to take out some of the meat with it. You just can't go right down to the point of contact when it comes to the oil or the liquid or the brine. Yes.
You can't use the cover?
You cannot use, you have a pot as well. I'm pouring out. So you can pour out the bit you don't want because you haven't reached the point of contact yet. When it starts to touch and separate. But when you have a lid on top, use the lid to hold back, that you can't do. Because the two have met, and now you're holding back one and removing that. That is borer. That is borer. I'm removing the bit I don't want from the bit I do want.
So what can you do with it?
No, not much.
So you have to pour it out without the
Pour it out as best as possible without that. And a bit falls out, you slop it back in again. Yeah.
So, are you allowed to drink black coffee and then throw away the mud at the end?
Yeah.
Why?
Why are you allowed to throw away the butts at the bottom of the coffee cup, says Shani?
Like Turkish coffee?
Yeah.
Like the sludge?
I don't want it.
So that's plotic.
That
it's
is
the end.
psolet, but it's not from ochel. It's psolet from psolet. And the cup, the butts,
No, but
the
coffee,
mud at the
you
bottom.
wanted the coffee.
But the mud at the bottom of the cup is just being held. It's not interspersed, not intermingled with the cup. It's just a clear holding it. You can squeeze out toothpaste as well. Not a problem of schita. No problem. Or actually, there you want the toothpaste actually, so that's even different, right? But it's not considered to be. It's got to be interspersed and intermingled. A cup holding it will be a problem.
No, but it is. You want the coffee and you don't want the.
What do you want? What do you want,
I
Shana?
want the coffee. I don't want the mud. The mud.
What are you pouring out?
I'm pouring out the mud.
You're pouring out the mud.
I drink it outside the
Listen, you finish your cup. Coffee's done.
Yes.
Fine. You got a cup,
Yes.
and you want to get rid of it in order to put new, clean pots inside. Not a problem. Why?
Why?
I'm asking you. Why not?
I'm asking you why it's not dash.
Dash? No. It's definitely not dash. It's not schita. Don't go back there.
No, it's not schita.
Don't go back to schita.
But it's ochel.
Not a problem, but it's not considered to be, has to be embedded inside. A cup holding it is not considered to be embedded. It's just holding it. It's not a problem. It's definitely not dash. And don't go back to dash again until I tell you again.
Wait, so are you okay if there's like gross stuff at the bottom of something?
Gross, what do you mean gross stuff at the bottom of something?
That's like when the coffee sludge is.
No,
Like the
but
gross
she-
stuff at the bottom of the
coffee's
cup
not
after you're
That's
done.
fine, I'm not separating. What am I separating over here? I'm just emptying out a dirty cup. Not a problem. Not a problem. That the cup and the contents of it are not considered to be embedded one with the other.
Wait, but you wouldn't be able to scoop out like coffee grounds from the bottom of a cup.
Yes, you will.
No,
Yes.
Coffee that you didn't drink, like you didn't drink the coffee. There's just like stuff at the bottom.
That you wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That you're not allowed to do. If there's coffee inside the cup and you want to just get rid of the sludge from the bottom, although some of the liquid comes out with it, it's probably okay. If the liquid comes out with it, it's okay. You look all done over here. You're borrowed out. Yeah, me too. All right, we shall pick up Borer Part 2 next class. Good job. And we'll do more examples of Steminim and Taroves and all the rest of it.